The Lafarge-Holcim Awards is the world's most significant competition for sustainable design. The awards program foregrounds projects and concepts from architecture, engineering, urban planning, materials science, construction technology, and related fields. The competition is conducted by the Lafarge-Holcim Foundation for Sustainable Construction. The foundation is an initiative of Lafarge-Holcim, the global leader in innovative and sustainable building solutions.
Holcim is at the forefront of sustainable building. Our foundation is a catalyst to amplify the best ideas in this area. We like to give a stage to the best and brightest minds in sustainable design and construction, to celebrate them and to accelerate their impact. And we have been doing this so since 2003. What I have learned during this time is that great ideas can come from anyone, anywhere on the planet. That's why I'm excited about the next generation of innovators, the students and young professionals who are disrupting the way we build and are reshaping how we live, from buildings and landscapes to the materials that we use. So please follow us to celebrate our next generation prize winners across the world. We are bringing them together as a global community, from the UK to Sierra Leone, from the US to Canada, and all the way from Indonesia to Argentina. I look forward to meeting with them and working together to create the built environment for tomorrow. With their fresh ideas, they keep us at the forefront of sustainable and innovative building solutions.
The Lafarge-Holcim Awards takes place across 5 regions: Europe, North America, Latin America, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific. There is a competition category for projects at an advanced stage of design and with a high probability of execution, and a next generation category for the visions and bold ideas of young professionals and students up to 30 years of age. In 2020, nearly 5,000 submissions from more than 120 countries were entered in the awards competition, almost half of them in the next generation category. Around 2,000 entries passed the pre-appraisal screening and were evaluated region by independent juries of experts who then nominated the winners. Today, we are delighted to announce the best next generation projects in North America. In this region, 1/3 of the submissions evaluated by the jury were entered in the next generation category. Reed Krolhoff headed the jury of independent experts.
I'd like to congratulate the winners of this year's program, each of whom proposed fascinating and elegant responses to the challenges and opportunities sustainability represents as part of the design process. Identifying only a small group of winners was challenging among a strong pool of submissions, but the process led to a robust jury and a great set of conversations on sustainability, of course, but also design research in general, competitions and representation, and the increasing complexity of building responsibly on this continent and others. Those conversations and the projects that inspired them energized the jury, while also reminding us about our own obligations for promoting sustainable design in everything we do. In the end, that's the point of the awards program, and indeed of the Lafarge-Holcim Foundation itself. Our jury comprised professionals with experience in both the private sector and academia. Though the pandemic forced the process online, we didn't feel restricted. Conversations were lively, the atmosphere collegial, and the results, we believe, hopeful. In reviewing the projects, we asked ourselves a number of questions. 1. Were we looking at new approaches to a problem? Was the proposal rigorous? Did the proposal consider sustainability at a variety of levels? In other words, did it look beyond the specific problem it was solving to a larger set of issues? Was it scalable or perhaps transferable? We believe all of our finalists answered these questions affirmatively. We were pleased that our selected projects and many of the other submissions were of very high quality. The subject matter varied widely among the submissions, but there was a strong focus on the reuse, either upcycling or downcycling, of materials, and the incorporation of plants and natural systems into the solutions. As I've mentioned, our jury is delighted with its finalists, but we want to encourage even more submissions in the next cycle of the awards. The subject of the awards program only grows more critical every year. So we hope North American schools and professional organizations will do even more to promote it going forward. Once again, thank you and congratulations.
In the Next Generation category, 4 prizes are awarded per region. The prize money allocated is $25,000 for the first prize winner, $20,000 for second, $15,000 for third, and $10,000 for the fourth prize winner. In addition to the prize money and a certificate, every winning team receives a personalized trophy featuring the modular, devised by the Swiss architect Le Corbusier. It is mounted on a block produced by LafargeHolcim, made of eco-packed low-carbon concrete containing Sustaino resource-saving cement. It showcases materials that enable circular flows and carbon-neutral construction. The prize winners will be announced in ascending order from 4th place up to 1st. Commentary on the projects will be provided by Marilyn Anderson. She is responding to questions from Edward Schwartz. Marilyn Anderson is a member of the board of the LafargeHolcim Foundation and heads its academic committee. She participated in all 5 regional awards juries. Edward Schwartz has been in charge of the LafargeHolcim Foundation for Sustainable Construction since it was established in 2003.
Marilyn, did anything stand out particularly in the entries in the Next Generation category of the awards in North America?
I would say that many of them dealt with energy or waste, and we also had a strong emphasis on the interface between the natural and the built, or the natural and the artificial, so to speak. And this interface took many different forms.
That means it was not predominantly about design and architecture.
In a way it is, because design or architecture or infrastructure in general has to then incorporate these questions on energy, on waste, on products. So indeed we were moving a lot in scale in these entries, but they all come back to how should the built environment deal with these maybe slightly more technical questions of energy, waste, or the interface between the natural and the built.
Now we're happy to present the 4th prize for North America, and this is going to take us to Connecticut.
According to the WHO, urban air pollution is the greatest environmental risk to human health. The aim of the project Pure Inhale is to improve air quality by means of multifunctional plant-based air cleansing systems. These systems metabolize air pollutants and thereby help clean the air. They reduce the need for HVAC systems in buildings. They also reduce the energy consumption of buildings and promote human health. Pure Inhale wins the LafargeHolcim Awards Next Generation 4th Prize 2020 North America. The prize goes to Phoebe Mankiewicz, PhD student at Yale University for Ecosystems in Architecture. The awards jury is impressed by the integration of vegetation into a convincing modular system. They see the advantages of the project in its healthy effects on people and in ecological sustainability.
Is this a project that this looks good on paper, or what difference can just plants make to a building?
I think that in this project what is interesting is that it uses the natural process embedded in plants to do more than just looking or seeing plants in the building. It's really looking also at its other benefits, such as purifying air, managing and keeping temperature levels agreeable. So it's about comfort, it's about humidity, it's about all of these different aspects that go beyond just having plants.
So this makes perfect sense. What is then the reason that there are not so many green facades?
I guess it's not so easy to make it a successful green facade. Plants don't necessarily grow easily on vertical built envelopes, and there is also a design challenge to make this look good over time. So the maintenance aspect is also a very heavy question in these kinds of aspects and these kinds of envelopes. So altogether, this was a promising project towards that direction.
Now we'll move on to the 3rd placed project, and that'll take us to Florida.
Big Bend Power Station is a coal-fired facility that pollutes and degrades the local environment along the Florida coast. The project Performative Landscapes proposes a solution to reduce the environmental impact of the plant. Available material resources are used in concert to sequester carbon and better manage emissions. A network of bioreactors, open pond farms and constructed wetlands enable agricultural production and mitigate pollution. The system is embedded within an expanded wildlife reserve, creating a naturalized buffer and refuge for the local manatees. Performative Landscapes wins the Lafarge Holcim Awards Next Generation Third Prize 2020 North America. The prize goes to Samuel Clovis, architect from Los Angeles. The awards jury is impressed by the clever and reproducible idea of mitigating environmental problems. They commend the author's ambition to transform the area into an attractive landscape that combines nature, architecture, and infrastructure.
This project is quite complex. Does building sustainably generally require such a comprehensive approach?
Well, I think building sustainably does need a comprehensive approach. It has to look at all these different aspects that make altogether a project sustainable. In this particular case, what is fascinating is to take the existing and try to take the most out of it by trying to restore its lost value, and in this case even give it a new value, like a refugee for manatees.
This means that projects of this kind need an interdisciplinary team to establish it, and yet the author of this project did it all on his own.
Well, it's true that to be truly sustainable, you have to bring in so many things together into a holistic and truly sustainable approach that you typically do have to work across disciplines. So this author had a visionary concept on his own, but to really make this into a reality and get it to work, there is no doubt that interactions with experts in biodiversity, with landscape designers, with experts in these kinds of plants, all of that needs to be happening, and a team has to be formed to truly address this on a tangible level.
And that makes us go on to the second place project, which is certainly teamwork. And to see that, we'll move across the Big Lakes to Ontario in Canada.
The firing of conventional bricks requires high temperatures and great amounts of energy. The aim of the project Off the Wall is to develop alternative, sustainable building materials for wall veneers and insulation. The masonry elements are made from reclaimed cement kiln dust and agro-industrial byproducts such as corn stover. Fish processing residue serves as a natural binder. Depending on the type of fiber, the blocks have different colors, weights, and textures. The production method requires little energy. Off the Wall wins the Lafarge Holcim Awards Next Generation Second Prize 2020 North America. The prize goes to Daniel Gonzalez and Noor Shaikh, Master Students in Sustainable Management at the University of Waterloo. The awards jury applauds the elegant way agro-industrial waste is repurposed and is convinced that such byproducts are suitable for a niche market. The blocks can be made using a wide range of natural fibers, which allows production to be adapted to different regions of the world and promotes the use of local resources.
Many entries in the awards present new kinds of building materials, but yet it seems that they have a hard time to get established in the markets.
It's true. I mean, it's true maybe not for all of them, but to scale up is clearly a challenge for such products. And oftentimes it lies in some details: color, actual material, the transportation of the material, the process all together. So even though a prototype might work, to make it work at a larger scale still is always a challenge.
What did you like particularly about this brick approach in this project?
Well, I think what we liked most is that it used waste from agriculture or from aquaculture. So this kind of very clever mix of what comes out of living beings and animals like fishes, as well as also living beings, but vegetables or cereals. And therefore to try to bring in this kind of waste into bio-waste, into a product that can have the required properties to act as a brick.
And to get to know the main category winner of the Next Generation in North America, we'll move back to the US, to New York.
Countless old concrete buildings will be demolished in the forthcoming years. There is still no standard method in place to recycle the demolition rubble, only methods to downcycle the concrete. The project Unmaking architecture shows how dismantled pieces, especially from floor slabs, can be cleverly reused to construct new buildings. The method relies on artificial intelligence. It is economical and it reduces the CO2 footprint. The demolition rubble is digitally scanned. A computer program then groups the identified pieces of material into congruent sets. The program then calculates how the individual pieces can optimally be put together, like pieces of a puzzle, to create a new whole. Gaps can be filled where necessary, for instance using robotic concrete printers. The method can also be used for glass building shells. Unmaking Architecture wins the Lafarge-Holcim Awards Next Generation First Prize 2020 North America. The prize goes to Daniel Marshall, Teaching Fellow at MIT, Department of Architecture. The awards jury appreciates the elegant and precise exemplifying design solutions that are featured along with the computational tool, which shows a clear sensitivity for architectural quality. The idea of putting artificial intelligence combined with 3D printing at the service of both attractive design projects and resource conservation is found very powerful.
What's the significance of recycling building materials today, and how do you think this is going to go on in the future?
Well, what I think should happen, and actually this project is very inspiring for that, is a way to make reuse rather than destruction the default plan. So therefore to first think about how we could reuse or reuse parts, and that this is the way to go, and only if small pieces for some reason and lower amount of those should happen, cannot be reused, then maybe we can recycle them. But the upscaling and the actual reuse should be the default plan.
In other words, this is an approach that is possible thanks to a mixture of new technologies and the consciousness for recycling.
Precisely, and this is what we really liked about this project, is this clever combination of the highest technology and tools, 3D printing, data-driven processes, computation, and to combine that with what we can consider as pretty rough demolition pieces. And so how do you make them back into a puzzle that fits perfectly? Well, you take AI in support, and therefore you bring the two worlds together for a truly contemporary upcycling.
Thank you very much, Marilyn. But one of the goals of recognizing projects by students and young professionals in the next generation category of the awards is, of course, to share information, but also to recognize the efforts that are there, recognize the authors. That's why we asked the winner of the first prize, North America, what this prize means to him.
For me, winning a Lafarge-Holcim Next Generation Award is really special, precisely because this award is looking ahead over the next several decades. Buildings last around this scale of human lifetimes, sometimes centuries, but not always. And so the decisions we make now about how we construct the environment will have serious repercussions for generations ahead. And also, buildings from previous generations are the ones that my generation will have to deal with. Our generation is taking on some incredible technologies, ways of building and constructing, but also some ungodly challenges. We know we're heading into a crisis. And so being recognized as an individual who's thinking deeply about how we might work realistically to adjust some of the ways that we construct, I think is really exciting and a huge honor.
So let's recap the results and look at the winners.
To learn more about the Lafarge-Holcim Awards and its winners, check the website of the Lafarge-Holcim Foundation. It offers the latest information and videos on all next generation category prize-winning projects from around the world. In addition, the renowned international architecture magazine AA, L'Architecture d'Aujourd'hui, has published a special issue on the latest Next Generation winners of the Lafarge-Holcim Awards. You can download this issue for free from the website of the foundation. What happens next? The prize money will be transferred immediately, but the handover of the well-deserved prizes will take a little longer. The winners will receive their trophies and certificates at the International Lafarge-Holcim Next Generation Awards Lab next year. All winners of a Next Generation prize from the 5 regions will be invited to exchange experiences and to link into a growing network of experts in sustainability and design. At the same time, up to 3 recipients of a Research and Practice grant will be announced. The further development of their Next Generation prize-winning projects will be supported by the Lafarge-Holcim Foundation. The winners of the Global Lafarge-Holcim Awards 2021 will be announced by Hashim Sarkis mid-November at a special event as part of the International Venice Biennale of Architecture. Professor Sarkis is the curator of this year's exhibition and was the chair of the Global Awards jury.
It's very evident if you walk through this Biennale that sustainability is a very common theme. It actually cuts across almost all of the projects. And even though the exhibition is organized around 5 scales, we will be organizing the symposia and programs that will come in the 6 months around these themes that are cut across. And in November, mid-November, there will be a long weekend where we will come together to talk about the different dimensions of sustainability, from the ecological to the behavioral to the aesthetic, but we'll also be coming together to celebrate the Holcim Awards and organizing together an event for the awards, but also an intellectual platform for talking about the joint common ambitions of the award and the Biennale.
All winners in the main category from the 5 regions were qualified for this global competition. These regional awards and acknowledgement prize winners will also be announced and celebrated in Venice.
I would like to congratulate all of the prize winners for their magnificent projects and visions and thank them on behalf of the Lafarge-Holcim Foundation for their work and sharing their ideas.
So good luck to all the participants as you pursue your ideas, and we're looking very much forward to seeing you, hopefully in person next year at the Awards Lab.
Indeed, we hope so. Sustainable construction needs many new ideas and needs young professionals who want to think further and rethink how and with what we can build. So thank you all for your support in creating a more sustainable future.